In a move I did not see coming, it turns out that the president of Wizards of the Coast, Cynthia Williams, will be stepping away from her role at the end of this month. And while the easy thing to do would be to stand in front of a camera and just shout, "Yes, everything that's wrong with Magic is going to be fixed, it's all her fault, she's going away," not only do I not believe that, but I think there's just several facts laying in front of us that just make that untrue. There have been amazing moments under her tenure as president of Wizards of the Coast in Magic the Gathering, and I think it's important to talk about some positive changes that I do think will come, but one glaring negative change that could happen because of this shift that will affect every single one of us that plays Magic. And on top of that, I do want to do something kind of fun today. Some of the most fun I think I can have on the internet. Let's wildly speculate at the end of this video what this means for the future of Magic. So, on the surface, this news is not that deep, or there's not too much to dig into. As of April 15th, we found out Cynthia Williams will be stepping down as president of Wizards of the Coast, and that will happen effective April 26th of this year, 2024. And that's not that big of news. When Cynthia Williams was appointed president of Wizards of the Coast, we all had this vibe, oh, she's coming from Microsoft, from the digital space. She's going to look to digitize Magic. It's all going to be focused on the digital, blah, blah, blah. And while, yes, we have seen a major push into digital, we have seen the most changes in actually the D&D space, the other big Wizards of the Coast project that actually has potential to make money. And without digging in too deep there, as we are a Magic the Gathering channel, it's important to note that while D&D decisions were made that were not super popular, I think it's called the OPL, the licensing agreement that actually kind of hosed a lot of people working with D&D projects. That was not a good decision. It was bad for the community. There were several good decisions. D&D expanded greatly in the last 2 years. We've had the video game Baldur's Gate 3. We've had D&D movies. We've had a lot of growth in that space. So I think, a tip of the cap is deserved there, outside of obviously the terrible licensing decision. But to really focus in on Magic the Gathering, I believe we all thought we would see a greater push for digital Magic. And while, yes, digital Magic is everywhere, it's all over the place. In the last year to year and a half, we have seen the return of the Pro Tour. We've seen the return of, Pro Tour qualifying or major in-person paper events. We have seen the return of Magic Cons in a post-COVID world, as I went to Magic Con Chicago, and you can check out videos from that event right here on the channel. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe, because we're racing to 8,500 subs. And listen, subscribing lets me know that I'm at least doing an okay job and you're having some fun around here. So while this push for digital was going to be assumed, and yes, digital Magic is growing, we have seen great strides in paper Magic the Gathering. And I believe that's not something we would have guessed under the tenure of Cynthia Williams when we looked at her appointment to president, or whatever you want to call it. Listen, I don't pretend to know business lingo. We looked at all of that on paper. Now, it hasn't all been sunshine and roses. We have seen some negative effects, and maybe it's directly related to Cynthia Williams hire as president of the company, and maybe it's not, but I guess that's what you get when you're the president of the company. All the decisions, good and bad, kind of get laid at your feet. And we have seen the massive price increases of premier products and even standard products seeing a price increase. We have seen the stores make less and less money on Magic the Gathering. More on this later in this video. And we have also seen Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary, $1,000 plus fake Magic the Gathering cards. And no, I don't care in the comment section if you want to tell me they're not fake Magic the Gathering cards. In my opinion, they're fake Magic the Gathering cards. When I see one, I will never tell you not to play it, because that's just the person I am. I don't care if you use proxies. They're not for me, but I don't care if you do. But I will always be like, oh, that's a fake Magic the Gathering card. Very cool. I'm sorry if that insults you. We've seen all of this under her reign, so fairly or not, it's laid at Cynthia Williams' feet. And while I think that we may have an opportunity here to get a person of leadership that removes some of this or has a better focus or care on Magic the Gathering. Remember, infamously, the people in power weren't necessarily the most familiar with Magic the Gathering, according to the infamous fireside chat. We won't get into that today, but for those who remember, it was kind of a doozy. I also think that we have to acknowledge that we live in 2024 when marketing trading card games and dealing in the cardboard world at a scale that Wizards of the Coast does is probably exceedingly difficult. So what changes for the better do I expect to see going forward with the change in president? Well, I think if we can find someone, and this is where we're going to divert a little bit, right? We've got two presidents in mind that could be hired, no one in specific, but two like categories of humans that could be, picked for this role. In category A, you pick a person that knows Magic the Gathering a little bit better, is familiar with the Magic the Gathering community, grew up playing the trading card game, and that person is going to maybe drive and push against the idea of Magic as a business and push us back to our roots a little bit, even though we'll talk about this in the second half of this video, or soon in this video, that might not be possible. But I really do think there's an opportunity to get someone in that seat that can nurture the growth and care of Magic the Gathering in a different way. I don't think we'll see any major design changes on a set basis. I don't think we'll see the release cycle slow down from the change in appointment here. However, I do think someone with more care could handle the special events for Magic the Gathering, someone who under Magic 30th Anniversary Edition wouldn't have been a business decision, but a community decision, and things of that nature. Now, you have the other avenue here, where the human being appointed to this role is just another business person, maybe someone who doesn't come from Microsoft, but who comes from Apple, who comes from some other major corporation, ExxonMobil or something off the top of my head, and they're just a business person, and they push the development of these products, D&D and Magic the Gathering, as means to earn their company money, which is, normally the job of a business person in those roles, in which case we start to get into interesting territory. Decisions to be made on the price of a box. Maybe we revisit, is the higher price and selling less boxes the way to go versus the selling more products at a lower price? And we have that argument all over again. But I'm sure there will be changes like that will come that will affect every single one of us. But there's one change that is sure to loom over this whole decision that will affect each and every one of us. And if you stuck around for this long, make sure you like and share the video, because this is the important part, in my opinion, exceedingly important. This is where you get someone hired into a new position. And what do? All of us do when we're hired into a new position? Well, we like to make ourselves look good. We like to make sure not only do we feel like we deserve that position, but we also feel like we look good on paper to our higher-ups, and we meet all of our metrics and our goals and things like that. And this is where things could get a little dicey. We know Wizards of the Coast cares about how much money they earn Papa Hasbro. Now, whether they care about it directly or Papa Hasbro forces them to care about it is, I guess, an argument that doesn't even matter at this point. The point is, it is a metric. It's something the company clearly measures itself by. And when this new human being is appointed to this role, well, what do you think the best way to make themselves look good is? It's definitely not with, oh man, the Magic community loves you. No, it's by making that dollar amount go up. And the easiest way to do that, and I hate saying this into a microphone, this is not my suggestion, this is just what I think could happen, which is not great, would be to, yes, further increase the price of the box. This seems to be the easiest way for Wizards of the Coast to constantly make money off people like you and I that love Magic the Gathering. And this worries me a bit. In my fantasy land, and let me know if you follow along with my fantasy land here, in my fantasy land where somebody wants to improve on the Magic the Gathering's relationship with its community, and they want to give us better deals or better products at a more affordable price and find a way to accrue value by selling more products and growing the game, in that world, the person leading that ship has to be tenured, has to be seniored, has to be trusted, because that's not going to happen overnight. That is a long road to success and profitability. And whenever you hire someone new for a new position, in my completely uneducated opinion, that is a danger. We look to instantly kind of spike things and make ourselves look good, churn through a little bit, put those good numbers on our resume and move somewhere else. So who gets this role is going to be extremely important. Now, if we want to wildly speculate, just for fun, the best case scenario in my opinion, is you take a tenured Magic the Gathering community member staple and also someone with the business acumen. And I don't know these people's resumes. I've never had meetings with them. I don't know how they act under pressure, but appointing someone who has that on their resume as president of this company would be the healthiest for me. It would make me the happiest. The meme answer is to take someone like Rudy and offer him the job. And I am here to tell you, I don't think he'd take it. I don't think they can pay Rudy enough to make it meaningful enough for him to stop running Alpha Investments. And I don't think you can do both of those side by side. They seem like, two jobs. But let me tell you, as a Magic the Gathering fan, a Rudy fan, and a content creator, I would be here for it, baby. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine the fun that we would have in this community? Oh, I almost can't believe it. But more than likely, I think we see someone appointed from the outside who has a powerful name in another position to lend credence to Wizards of the Coast on paper and make them look better in board meetings. Say, hey, we have the former executive or chairman of the board of this company, and we have placed them here, and now they are going to help us on this path forward. And there's a lot to talk about here. We'll continue this discussion on Friday Morning Magic, but I really think that we have to remember the good. Like, we've had some banger sets over the last 2 years under Cynthia Williams' guidance. If we're going to lay all the bad at her feet, we got to lay all the good at her feet as well. We've had some absolute banger sets. Standard sets have returned to being really exciting for the most part, especially when you look at the back half of 2023 and into 2024, Karlov Manor aside. I hold still. Karlov Manor is a fun set. It's just not a great set. And our premium products, the Lord of the Rings crossovers, the Doctor Who's, and yes, the Fallouts, they've been legitimate bangers. They have sold so many boxes. We see so many people playing those cards. We can't just scream that everything is bad. So I do want to tip of the cap here at the end of the video. Cynthia Williams, you've done some amazing things for our community. Thank you for your time at the helm of Wizards of the Coast, I guess, even though no one from Wizards of the Coast knows who this channel is. I do want to just say, it has not all been bad. There have been some good. And if we're going to lay the bad at the feet of the president, the good lays down there too. So hats off for the good. Wish you would have fixed the bad, and I guess you didn't, but thank you so much for hanging out today. Oh, if you like this video, make sure you share it on any social media platform. This is more of a ranty video. If you like these kind of videos, let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh, and we'll see you around. All right, goodbye.